Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lex, the odds here is 9:30, and it is Wednesday, so it's a Wow Wednesday. And wow, we've got Canada basketball today at 1:30 p.m. Team Canada playing a friendly in Germany against Team Germany. We'll have to see if our guy Dennis Schroeder is going to be suiting up for Germany today against Team Canada. There is word out that he has a bit of an Achilles injury, but to be honest, the stuff with Schroeder is stuff that he's been dealing with for a couple years now. This isn't anything new, and I'm not really worried about this Achilles injury. I know that a lot of people on Twitter and different places are saying, "Oh no, how can the Raptors let him play on Team Germany if he has an Achilles injury?" But that's not really. See, part of it is that he really cares about playing for Germany. And the other part of it is that Dennis really is like a kind of guy that he gets past injuries. So, you know what? He may have this Achilles injury right now. And people may be like, well, why is he playing? We need him for the Raptors this year. But he's crazy. And like in some ways, he's proven that he can kind of like avoid long term injuries. So I don't know what's going to happen. He could suit up and play against Canada today, even though he's injured. Let's just put it that way. The Achilles injury is a weird one. It nags and it sometimes doesn't go away right away. It's something, like I said, he's been dealing with for a few years now. And it's not like anything new for him, is basically what I'm saying. So we'll just have to see. Now, part of the whole thing about having Dennis do the medical check on his channel, and then we saw a little bit of it on Open Gym, but not really. There really was an in-depth like footage of him getting checked out by the doctor when we just before he was going to do his contract with us, and the doctor gave him really good approval of being in great shape. And he said something about his ankles, about down there a little bit, and he said, yeah, this is a little bit of an issue, but I could see with just strengthening and working hard and like doing this right things with it, you should be fine with it. So it's a weird situation. Dr. Alex looked over and he said, okay, good, Dr. Alex McKechnie. That clip's fun. It's fun to see like a medical exam for an NBA player when they've never put one on blast like that before, where you can actually be there and like watch how those things go down. Of course, today's picture is a photo of Marquise Noel working out in LA. And yesterday on Marquise's Instagram, he had a post of the entrance of UCLA. And that made me wonder, he posted the entrance of UCLA, the university. Are they going to Rico Runs? And will there be some Rico Hines runs footage with the Raptors at it very soon? This is kind of what I think at this point. If they're all going to convene on the Los Angeles area and they're going to be seen working out, it could be very similar to this. Like it could be that they came in to meet Darko and Pat Delaney and James Wade and Jama and everybody, and they had an orientation. It could very well be that Darko told the guys, like, if you're going to run in these runs, this is what I want y'all to work on. This is what I want you to think about. This is kind of what I want you guys to be working with when if you guys are participating in Rico Hines runs. And it could very well be, if we do see clips of Rico Hines runs coming out very soon, that we're going to see some of the Raptors coaches sitting on the sideline kind of observing silently like we did last year. So I expect this. I mean, why would Marquise post a picture of UCLA? He's giving us clues. Thank you, Marquise. You're like the little Blues Clues guy. You're giving us little clues here and there. And I think they are going to Rico Hines runs. So that's very interesting to me there. All right, let me check in with y'all in chat. Trevor J saying, good morning, Raptors family. Good morning to you, Trevor J. Hope your travels are safe in the States, baby. Yeah, he's in the States. He gets homesick, though, is what he's been telling us. Monique is here. Good to see Superfan Monique Lawrence. Good morning, everyone. Thinking of you, Dennis. Seriously, go Team Canada. Yeah, once again, Monique, this is overblown. This Achilles thing has been something that, like I said, Dennis has dealt with for years, and it's not like a super bad injury. And the other thing is that, like, I don't know. They're not. He's going to be with Team Germany no matter what. It's not like the Raptors can turn to him and say, "Yo, don't be with Team Germany and stop." If he can't play, he won't. But I'll bet you he's going to play today. That's the crazy thing. Now I have the rosters for today's game at 1:30. I do not know where to watch this game right now, but I will be looking for it this after the stream, and I will be watching it if I can find it somewhere online. Now, one of the things is we if I find the link, I'm going to share it on Facebook. And I maybe y'all noticed I opened up memberships for this channel. Well, there are a few perks if you join this channel as a member that I can talk about. And you can see the different packages. But this is the thing on YouTube where the channels have membership. It's just to help support the channel. It's kind of like a Patreon. But it's just to really just if you feel like you want to support what I'm doing here on this channel, that's all it is. It's not mandatory. There's some cool stuff that you get with it, but for the most part, it's not something that you have to do. But if you feel like you wanted to support me for what I'm doing on this channel, this is a great way to do it. And there's 3 different levels of doing it. And I just wanted to try it out. I know that some of y'all were saying that you wanted to have this on this channel, so now it's here. So just a little aside, just a little housekeeping. That yeah, their memberships are open. If you see that join button, it's not necessary, and it's not to get into a chat room or anything. It's just if you want to support the channel and be a monthly subscriber. That's all. Let's see. Monique's also saying, always love watching Marquise Noel's Instagram stories. What a time. Go Raptors. All right, let's go look at Marquise's Instagram since Monique brought it up. First, we'll start with Slim Duck. We're looking at Chris Boucher's Instagram. They put a really cool highlight clip up, Raptors official, of Scotty Barnes, some of his best passes and some of his great plays from last season. And it is quite an impressive clip. Honestly, watching it made me feel like, okay, maybe Scotty is ready to be our point guard. Those were the nice clips. I mean, the other stuff, we're not seeing that in the highlights, but there was some really cool clips. And I like seeing his teammates supporting him and reposting it and putting it up, like Slim Duck posting Scotty's highlights of his passing. Also, Slim Duck is with a friend, and he said his sunglasses didn't come off once last weekend because they were just having such a good time. And then he's somebody has passed away. DJ Casper has passed away, and it looks like Chris is sad about that. Marquise, more pictures of him in New York with lyrics over him. And then there's the UCLA sign, like where he's showing that they're at UCLA. So we'll see if there's those are coming. Also, Marquise has a clip up from last night. A man is great not because he hasn't failed. A man is great because failure hasn't stopped him. That's Confucius that he's quoted there. Christian Coloco has a youth basketball coming up. Harvard Westlake High School at Coldwater Canyon Avenue. This will be Sundays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., $75 per player with Coach Ed and Coach Sean. So I think this may be Arizona. This could be a youth basketball camp in Arizona around his old alma mater at Arizona University. So that's what I'm going to guess on that. Now, Scotty has a new Instagram. He put on blast on his other Instagram saying that he's going to be posting more on a new Instagram that he just made. So y'all, if you need to watch Scotty and see what he's doing, just be aware that he has 2 Instagram channels now. And he has a new one. And his new one, he's got a picture of him saying, "Hey, family." And you can see his new teeth. His teeth are been fixed, or he doesn't have his gap in his teeth anymore. It's very much, you can see it now on there for sure. And then he's saying a lot of me and Cardi content coming soon. He's got a picture of Cardi in the back seat with a bandana on. So I think this new channel on Instagram is going to be where Scott puts more of his personal stuff. It's kind of like on YouTube, he's got 2 channels also. He's got like the live stream channel where he would show Twitch stuff with Aiden Ross and Terrence Ross. And then he had more like the Max produced kind of like stuff from him going to like pro-ams and things like last summer. So now it seems like he's got a personal Instagram that's going to be more a personal life. And then he's going to have highlights and maybe basketball related on his traditional Instagram, ya boy Scotty. So Scotty's got 2 Instagrams now. So y'all need to go follow his new Instagram. Scotty's putting on blast, Chris putting him on blast. So we've had this 2 days in a row now where Raptors are posting somebody and then they're reposting the person posting them, and it's like kind of it's like meta. There's like 3 levels to it. It's like Slim Duck celebrating Scotty, and then Scotty is celebrating Slim Duck celebrating Scotty. It just happened the same way with Grady and Thad Young yesterday, also. So there you go. He's recognizing Chris, recognizing him. And there's the thing saying, go follow my other account on there. Pascal is doing German. He's speaking German in Austria. There's a sign on the wall, and he's trying to read it and pronounce it in the correct German pronunciation. I'm a little worried about Pascal right now. Just because that rumor mill is heating up once again. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of BS. And I just don't want him to be, I want him to be above it. I want him to be away from it. And I want him to just go what he's going to go and do. We know where Siakam stands. There's no question marks about where Siakam stands and what he wants. He wants to stay in Toronto. It's just real fishy about the extension stuff. And the thing about the extension is, in some ways, it works against his favor to sign the extension right now. So in some ways, people are playing coy and they're acting like Siakam's not getting what he wants, but he may very well want to put off the extension, partly because he wants to achieve more so that his extension will be worth more. He missed out on All NBA last season, and that is part of the reason why he's not getting the max right away. I think if he got an All NBA last year, and they were like, whoa, we can pay you this much, they would do it right away. But in some ways, I don't know exactly what's going on. I'm going to say this, though, that we know for the record that Siakam wants to be in Toronto, and he'd be unhappy if we traded him. Let's just put it that way. All right. All right. So he's got pictures of Austria and Salzburg. He's got an interesting European pink building with a flag on the side. It looks like it may be is that an embassy or something? Is that the Canadian embassy or something? I don't know. Picture of a nice street in Austria. There's a mountain. There's a lot of mountains in Austria, that's for sure. There's a nice church. He's been sightseeing. He's taking pictures. That's a beautiful picture that Siakam has of that mountain and that lake on his Instagram stories. Then there's some sort of weird tunnel with graffiti. Looks like it goes underneath somewhere. Then there's like a food truck, and it looks like people are lining up to get some beers. It looks like it sells beer out of that truck. And there's a big, huge lake. Oh, man, such beautiful scenery where Pascal is in Austria right now. Very, very beautiful stuff. All right, let's see. Gary Trent Jr. is putting on blast Scotty's clip also. But it's partly because Gary's the one getting that dunk. It was that clip where Scotty does the the eyes like this and then does the football throw. Like that's such a great play. And Gary does really throw it down. So Gary also posted that clip just like Chris. Thad Young posting his camp with the young boys. Toronto Raptors official is putting on blast Jennifer Saigo, the performance dietitian for the Raptors team. She's always talking about how to make your life healthier through eating. So that's good stuff. Always good, informative stuff from Raptors official. And Monique has got the Darko era loading on her Instagram, and there's that Thad dunk. It looks nice. It looks real nice. And then also Monique is letting everybody know on her Instagram that former Raptor Lorenzo Brown is playing for Spain in on the team right now that's going to be at World Cup. So we may see Lorenzo Brown if we can get far enough with Team Canada. Grady is celebrating his Kansas teammates who were on vacation in Puerto Rico. They posted a bunch of pictures, and he probably wishes he could be down there with them. But you know what? You're a Raptor now. You're not in college anymore. You have graduated, Grady, and you are in the pros, baby. Dennis Schroeder's Instagram saying preparation is key. He is kind of bending over and touching his ankles and wincing a little bit. But I'm telling you, this guy's a tough guy. This may be an overblown injury. We'll have to see how it goes. Hopefully this is not going to be an issue. Some people are really chicken littling about Dennis having this Achilles injury and saying, what are we going to do? We don't have a real point guard for this year. Oh my gosh, give it a rest, people. We have a couple of point guards. I don't understand why y'all don't think we got point guards. We got Jeff Dowden, we got Malachi, we got Scotty. So just stop, please. Stop overreacting and being doomsday people just because Dennis has a little bit of a hurt Achilles. It's not worth getting all messed up about, trust me. There's Dennis on the court with the European ball. He said, we wrote history in this building, and it sounds like he might want to write some more. Well, if you can play, Dennis, we'll have to see. 1:30 p.m. today, tip-off, Germany versus Canada in Germany, a friendly game. We'll have to see how that goes. If I get a link, I'm going to share it on the Facebook chat. So if I find a link, that's part of the membership perks. If you you become a member of the channel, you get to be in our Facebook chat. It's kind of like a Discord. And we keep up with things all day. And you get Monique's updates, you get my updates, and you will get access to the stuff like that link where I might have the game link for this later on, just so you know. Isaac Bonga also, of course, around Team Germany right now, former Raptor. He's out on the street with fans. All right, so there's your Instagram check real quick. I am going to do a little bit of an overview on the German team, so you guys know who they have and what we're dealing with as far as things for Team Canada today. That's right, yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying, I was going to say two channels can be confusing, but I get it. One personal and one business. Do you have the IG handle for his new account? It's very similar to, it's like your boy Scotty, your boy Scotty Ski. It's like a form of that. It's very similar to the same name. The best way to find it, Fiercely, is to go to Scotty's Instagram stories on his account that you already follow and just follow the link there. It'll take you to the second account real easy. Stargate saying, "Yep, Scotty's showing off those new veneers. Yeah, he's not one of my kind anymore with the gap tooth. Yeah, it may be that sometimes Scotty's a sensitive guy. He may have heard some crap online. He was like, you know what, I got the money. I'm gonna fix this and shut these people up because they're saying stupid shit about my teeth. I'll bet you that is part of it right there." Seymour saying, "Better be U.S. versus Canada in the finals. We want all the smoke. Canada versus the world." That's right, baby. That's right. Sheriff Seymour Pape is just doing like the Warren G and Nate Dogg as regulators mount up. Yeah, let's see. Today, Team Canada, regulators mount up. Let's go get Germany today. That's right. Sheriff is saying that. Top saying, I echo the view that Dennis shouldn't risk further injury at the FIBA games if his ankle is strained. He needs to rest. Yeah, I'm with you guys on that. But like I said, in some ways, I don't know where the Raptors are they going to go tell him that or what is going to happen with this. Dennis, I don't know if it's like a Dennis thing or what, but he really cares about representing Canada. This may have been something in the whole thing like that is like important to him, and they understand that. So, he's got team doctors around him, and they're going to be smart with him. So let's just trust that things will be handled well with Dennis. And if they aren't, we'll talk about it later. But for right now, we can't be afraid of this. We can't be fearful of this. Dennis is going to do what he's going to do. And hopefully there's nothing like I told you so or anything like that later on. Because I hear you, top of top. I hear you. But once again, this is something that I think he's been kind of on the down low dealing with for a few years. And it's not something major in some ways. Stargate saying, unless it's Giannis, LeBron, or Luca involved, I don't want to hear any Pascal talk. Yeah, those are some big names. Holy crap. Yeah, wow, Stargate. Yeah. You know what? Actually, I have something for y'all. This is really interesting. On Twitter, there's somebody who has posted this, and this is true. This really illuminates a lot of things right here. Somebody has posted, their name is Na, is saying that Sham's sister works for the Atlanta Hawks, social media. And if any Raptor fans really want to know who's putting out these stories and agendas about Pascal Siakam, that's who you can tell. Is Sham's sister works for the Atlanta Hawks and their PR and their social media. So this dude thinks that it's her that's putting out all this Pascal bullshit, and he is helping her because it's his sister. There's a lot of convoluted shit happening around sports right now, mainly because of betting. This is really crazy. They're going to ruin college sports. They're already on their way. They've messed up all the divisions because of money. Now they're going to be flying kids across the country because the conferences are bi-coastal at this point, which is so weird. Why don't y'all just save money and save the environment and keep your fucking conferences close to each other instead of flying across the country like you're doing? That's so stupid. That is so dumb. It's all for greed and money. You're going to ruin sports. And the other one is the gambling on the sports. Shams, how can you be the person who's in charge of a gambling website and be who you are as Shams and what your Shams job is? How can that happen? How can ESPN run a gambling website and do what they do as a sports network? This is all messed up and convoluted at this point. And I'm not going to trust college sports anymore. I'm not going to trust certain things anymore because they've blurred the lines. And they've made things just too messed up for having the wolf in the hen house. That's what's going on right here. They're putting the wolves in the hen house. and they're just eating up the chickens because this is not right. There should not be people who are official for information. Think about this. ESPN's going to be putting betting lines at the bottom of their screens, and they're going to be making money off the betting. That can be manipulated in so many weird, fucked up, bad ways. So I'm telling you that there's going to be a demise of collegiate sports very soon because motherfuckers got too greedy. And this sports betting thing is going to just make things so toxic, so messed up. There's going to be so many scandals. It could destroy sports to a degree in the world because nobody's going to believe anything's on the up and up anymore. Nobody's going to believe that this is a real competition. They're all going to think that it's fixed. They're all going to think that people are going to bet on it to try and manipulate it and make money in weird, fucked up ways. You go ahead and make a world full of Tim Donaghy's, ESPN, and sports betting greedy ass fucking companies. You're going to ruin sports. Fuck y'all for it. You're already ruining all the conferences across the country. Why the hell do you want Pacific Coast teams flying over the East Coast to play? Oh, money? That's why? It doesn't make any sense. And it's all going down the toilet. Watch. It's going to all go down the toilet. It's all messed up. All right, let me see what's going on else. MSJ's here. Good to see Chris. Chris, how you doing today? Good to see you, man. Let's see. What is Chris saying? I think Pascal is staying. They rejected the Hawks offer. Pascal says he wants to stay, and some of these recent contracts are so huge. If the money really the issue, Pascal might have a huge season too. That's a big reason why they may be holding off on his extension. He may be partly holding off because he wants to do better this year to get more money. It may be that the Raptors are also holding off for maybe a similar reason or whatever. Either way, people need to just let things happen the way they're supposed to happen. Let them do their jobs as normal. Just let Bobby and Masai do their jobs and don't try and make the timeline yourselves, Raptors Nation. They know what the timing and the right place to do it. Y'all are so afraid about losing Pascal for nothing. You're like, we need to do this now. We need to do this now. Motherfuckers, if you do anything from fear in your life, you've already lost. So stop being so afraid. Everybody's so afraid. Oh, we might lose Pascal for nothing if we don't get the extension on him right now. Stop chicken littling, motherfuckers. Just trust in Masai. Rely on Masai that he's going to get this all right and figured out right. You're worried about it. Oh, because Fred left for nothing last year. Well, listen, maybe that was on purpose. Maybe we were like, let him leave like this. We can't pay him this. Let him leave. And that's what it's supposed to happen. It's not going to happen that way with Siakam. Trust me. It will not happen that way with Siakam. So stop being panicky and fearful people in Raptors Nation. Just let them do their job and trust in their higher power that everything's going to work out all right. I'm so sick of this. There's so much fear in Raptors Nation that's just totally unnecessary. There's no reason to be scared. Oh, I'm so scared about Pascal. Oh, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. I think you're right. Chris, that we're not going to move Pascal. He's not getting traded anywhere. In fact, they're saying they've upped the ante. That if you want Pascal, you got to give us even more now. And they're trying to make it sound like we're stingy or we're bad. No, we're smart. We love our player. He's a very good player. Y'all are undercutting with your offers. And we're saying no, and we're being smart. And I thank you, Bobby and Masai, for rejecting their stupid ass offer that we saw. It's really poor offer. And yeah, if they're ratcheting up what the offer should be to actually get him, good. I'm glad. That's my GM. That's my front office. That's what I want them to do. So yeah, the whole thing is stupid. Siakam wants to be a Raptor. He'd be unhappy if he got traded. And if something happens, then something happens. But you know what? It's not for us to decide. We got to let them figure it all out and be patient. All right, let's see. Top saying, can we not overcomplicate the Pascal issue like we did with Fred, only to find out he was bag chasing? Pascal is bag chasing, so he wants to get all NBA. It's not about TO loyalty or anything else. I don't know if that's totally true in some ways. I don't know. Now, Fred, I could probably say that was probably true in hindsight, top. And maybe I'll get burned again for twice. But forgive me for not wanting to think that way about these guys. Siakam is probably a mix of both. You know, honestly, he has no loyalty to anywhere else in the NBA other than Toronto. He has no designs to want to go play for any other team other than Toronto. This is true. You know, seriously, it's not like he had dreams of playing for the Lakers when he was a little kid. It's not like he had dreams to go play for the Celtics. God forbid. It's a different kind of thing. We are really his first home and the one that he made himself, and he has all the loyalty to us. So he does have TO loyalty. Don't kid yourself. He wouldn't be happy in another place. I'll bet you. He's a creature of habit. And if he showed up on another place, it'd be weird and different. He'd be like, man, I wish I was just back in Toronto, is what he would be saying. Because that's all he said. He said, oh, if you trade me, I'm not going to sign an extension with the other team. I'm going to try and find my way back to Toronto. And I believe him. I believe him when he says that. So we'll see what it is. We'll see how it happens. And that's, once again, we just got to be patient, see how it unfolds, and be okay with what happens, because we have no control over it. That's the one other thing that Raptors Nation needs to start realizing is y'all don't fucking have no control over this shit. And stop acting like you do and getting all bent out of shape when things don't happen the way you want to. It's really, really, really a bad look. Just trust in Bobby Masai. They have a grand scheme of things. They see a whole big picture that you don't totally see. And that's part of why we need to just trust them and let them do their jobs. It's so crazy. Cool Cat's here. Good to see Cool Cat. I found out that Sham's family members works for Atlanta Hawks, so that explains the offer they made to Raptors for Pascal. Raptors turned it down. So glad Pascal is in Austria for now. Yeah, he's away from this bullshit. In some ways, he doesn't need to be worrying about this. It's a whole other world over there. And I'm sure maybe he can turn off the internet. He doesn't even have to hear any of this crap. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's Sham's sister that's putting this bullshit out. So Raptors fans really want to know about the Pascal rumors. Sham's sister is putting it out. That's right. Dana, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Holy crap, that's what it looks like. So you've got a green name and a blue star. That's cool. There will be more Raptor oriented kind of gifts. And also the little star at some point will change to be kind of like more Raptors related or basketball related. We're in the process of working on this. I was talking to Tom Duke about this yesterday, about more specializing it to the Raptor Freak motif. The little bells and whistles, like getting the little star. That's what it looks like when you're a member of the channel. So thank you, Dana, for becoming a member. It's very sweet of you. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone has a great day. There you go. There you go. All right. You too, Dana. Stargate saying, man, we are already peeped the game as far as who is pushing these pro-trade Pascal narratives, and the entities are both sides of the border. It's all so nefarious. Yeah. Yeah, there is a little bit of everything in a weird way. This is why we got to say, listen, in some ways, you got to just give it up to God. Seriously, just give it up to your higher power and just allow for things to work out. Even if they're mystifying. Maybe they're cloudy. Maybe they're not totally clear. If your life is like this and it's kind of chaotic and you don't totally understand what's going on, the best thing to do, because sometimes when you overstress and you panic or you do something crazy that makes it even worse, sometimes it's best to just chill and let things develop and happen as they're supposed to. You can make things way worse when you shoot your mouth off because you're uncomfortable in one position because things are so uncomfortable and you can't control the situation. That's a word of wisdom for people right there. Just chill and give it up to your higher power and let your higher power sort it out in the short period of time. Hopefully it'll be figured out. If not, maybe it takes a little longer, but in the end, it will all be settled at some point. And that is what we need to do more of. It'll save you so much grief. Trust me. If you can just give it up. Some people say, give it up to gods, give it up to your higher power. Just trust in whoever other than Messiah. Trust in Messiah for the team, but in your life, trust in the forces of good and the powers that be out there to come around in a way that everything will work out. Because some people, you just want to have such control over everything, and it's tough. And that's part of the problem. This is part of the psychology of Raptors Nation, trying to force things or control things that need to control your life, the feeling of being out of control in your life. Well, they want to try and control something by telling Messiah how to do his job. Oh, man, it is nefarious. You're right, Stargate. And it isn't just from the U.S. side. There is stuff going on up here that's manipulative and damaging to Toronto and to the sport of basketball. I'm saying this. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Team Canada has the most talented Team Canada ever, and they're playing today at 1:30, and there is no television outlet to watch this game today at 1:30. And Sportsnet, you had the rights, and you are not doing anything with it. I've heard that they're not sending anyone to FIBA stuff, so they're piggybacking off of other people's broadcasts when they're there. For the damn for sure, they're not going to send anybody to Germany for friendly games that don't actually count. This is messed up. In some ways, once again, I will say this is the obvious. This is the status quo hockey country holding down basketball from growing and getting more eyes on it and getting more excited about it. The people they just watched in the States, the US versus Puerto Rico in the last day or so, and they got crazy ratings and people want to watch it. People in Oklahoma City right now are asking, how the hell do I watch this Team Canada game? Because I want to watch SGA. There's fans down south that want to watch this game too, not just Canada. So y'all get your heads out of your ass and put a North American broadcast of the Germany Canada game at 1:30 today somewhere, because I'm gonna find it some way or not. If I have to listen to that game in German, I will, and I will watch it today. Watch. I am not gonna miss this game. I'm gonna find it online one way or another. Watch. I will. That's right. Fiercely saying, Lex, I think you missed comments from Trevor J all the way to the first one I made and a few after. All right, let me go look real quick. Oh yeah, I did skip Trevor's words of wisdoms. I apologize. And I did miss Cowboy too. Okay, I'll make sure I get this too. It's because I went to the Instagram check off Monique, I think. All right, Trevor J saying, be thankful that you woke up today. Be thankful that you still have a job. Be thankful for your mother and father, brother and sister, and be careful for your own family and give God thanks for it. There you go. Be grateful. Be grateful for what you got, the people in your life, because it's not ever always granted, and you need to be grateful for what you got while you've got it. Trust me, the more you have gratitude towards the things you presently have, that is important. That is so important. One of the most amazing things that I've heard in the last week about Pee Wee Herman is that he's known he was dying for like 6 years, having cancer. You know what he did? He didn't tell anybody he was dying, but you know what he did repeatedly in the years leading up to his death just last week is that he let everybody in his life that he loved know how much he loved them, like really overdid it. And that's because he knew he was dying. He wanted to make sure they knew. And that's what I'm saying. Don't wait. Say how you feel, because there's no tomorrow sometimes. And that's really important. Yeah, good words of wisdom, Trevor. I'm glad I went back for them. Cowboy saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freak. Sorry, bam. I didn't make it yesterday. It was busy, but want to say happy belated birthday to Fiercey. All right, Bradley. Good stuff. Good stuff, Bradley. Ta-da. If y'all need some help around the house in some sort of way, Bradley can come to your house and help you. Ta-da is on Instagram, and they're also on the internet. If you want to look them up, and they can come and help you. Let's see. Dana's saying good morning. Tristan saying morning. Let's see. MSJ saying, didn't Dennis have a great game last week? Strained ankle. Sometimes players just have a constant issue they need to be on top of. I really think that's what this is, Chris. Is that people hear a little bit of an injury and they really make it times 10. And in some ways, I think that's what this is. I'm gonna poo-poo this injury, and I'm gonna just say this sounds like regular shit that he's probably been dealing with since he was he's on the Lakers last year and he's dealing with it too. And he did have the best game in their first game last week against Sweden. He was the leader and the one that led them to the victory over Sweden. So he did look really good in the first game too. Let's see. Iceman like Gervin's here. Good to see Iceman. I hope Schroeder doesn't turn into Otto Porter Jr. Part 2. Let's not jinx things. I hope you're right. Not right, too. Let's see. I feel he needs to sit out these world championships just to be on the safe side. Raptors are paying him, not Germany. Well, Iceman's very stern about this. And you know what? The logic is very sound. And, in some ways, I agree with this. I don't know how they're handling this. In some ways, maybe Masai and Bobby are too nice. Maybe they do need to be assholes and say, Dennis, what the fuck are you doing? You can't play for Germany right now. You're hurt. Just stay off the court. Well, I don't know. A big tell will be, is he going to play against Canada today? We'll find out. Let's see if he suits up and he plays or not today. Maybe he gets a DMP and he doesn't play in this one, especially because it doesn't count. And maybe they're just like, yeah, Dennis, you're going to rest against Canada today. Okay. All right, fine. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Rapid Free Crew. Is Team Canada available for us to see? No, it is not. Not officially in any kind of way right now, but you know what? People like me have ways of doing things. Yeah, if I find it, I'm going to post it in the Facebook chat online. I could maybe post it on here, but I'm a little worried too, because I don't want to put it on blast just in case it is a stream of a nefarious nature. I'm not going to post it on YouTube, but I will post it in the other place.
just so y'all know. Let's see. Country Kong saying, good morning, Raptor Freaks. Good morning to Twitch family. Country Kong, good to see you. Trevor saying, Lex, can you put a link to the workout videos with all the Raptors in it? I can't find it. It's basically on Instagram official for Raptors. You go there and you'll find that post, and it's got just different. It's like 4 or 5 pictures and like 2 videos, and that's all it is. They got like a Thad dunk, and then they have some Scotty lifting weights, stuff like that. Trevor J. Let's see. Fiercely saying, morning fam, and thank you, Canadian Cowboy. I read Rico put out promo clips for week of August 12th, and Pascal is in it. More noise in reference to the Hawks offering a package. I don't fall for the clickbait. There you go. Some of it's like a lot of the guys in the know, like Blake Murphy and Samson Folk, are saying there's nothing new in this latest batch of Atlanta Hawks rumors. It's the same bullshit. It's not anything new. It's just recycled once again. It's like it got all quiet for a second, and now all of a sudden they recycle it and come out. I'm blaming Sham's sister. It's Sham's sister doing this shit. That's who I'm gonna blame from now on. Yeah, there you go. It's Sham's sister's fault. I like this. You're saying that Pascal is in the ad for the Rico runs for next week. That's good. So maybe Siakam's about to return from Europe and he'll be going straight to LA, and maybe he'll be right with his buddies on the Raptors very, very soon. So there you go. This will make things a lot better optically for the people that are very much stressing out about Pascal Siakam. To see him running in Rico Hines runs with Koloko and Scotty and OG, yeah, that'll make people feel better real quick. Yeah, let's see. G saying Rico posted a promo for August 12th, and Pascal's in the picture, and Fiercey beat me to it. I saw that clip with this picture. All right, good info. I like hearing that. Stargate saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. Good morning to you, Stargate. Seymour saying, salute, Stargate. Let's see. Monique saying, if you find a link for Team Canada, thanks. I'll look too. Yeah, we'll share it. We'll figure it out, Monique, for sure. But as I'm saying, I'm going to put it on Facebook. If y'all aren't on Facebook, that really is the best way for me to communicate other than on the channel while we're talking right now live, is just to do it through there. And so that's where I usually share stuff on off hours. We're constantly posting stuff on that chat. So Dana, since you just became a member, you if you're on Facebook, you need to add me as a Facebook friend so you can get your full perks of being a member. That's one of the members. So you become a Facebook friend with me, and then you can be added to that Raptor Freak chat that is open 24/7. We're not chatting too much late in the night, but there is stuff during the day where we're just kind of all coming and collecting information about what's happening with the Raptors or Team Canada and dropping it there for people to find real easy. So if you want to do that, Dana, you're entitled to do that because you're a member. Yeah, very interesting. Let's see. Fiercely saying, I was going to say 2 channels. Oh, yeah, that's where I was. It showed up there. Okay, this is where I got to. Good stuff. All right, thanks, Fiercely, for helping me out on telling me that was happening. All right, now I'll go back and start where she's told me that. All right, hang on. Where is it? Holy crap, you guys are filling it up. I like it. I like this. Okay, here we go. Monique saying fans are starting the Flynn time joke on socials. Okay, I don't know what the Flynn time joke is. Hopefully Malachi's okay, and we'll see what happens. Cool Cat saying Scotty had the gap fixed last year after he took off his braces. It got knocked out during a game last season. He got improved dental work. Folks in the U.S. kept teasing Scotty's ego affected. Yeah, I remember a little bit of that. You know, they have a couple of insults they like to use on him that aren't fair or nice. That's for sure. And that was one of them. Well, he got it fixed, and now he doesn't have to worry about it. And I kind of vaguely remember him getting knocked in the teeth. And he did have braces. So that does make a lot of sense, what you're saying. Dana's saying hi to Fiercey. Seymour saying, don't get shammed by sports invest in minerals, wink, wink. And yes, I agree. Shams is a sham in himself. You know, it's a weird situation. It's like, what? You guys want to make sports more like Tim Donaghy, where we just question everything and we think y'all are all crooks and you're just like making shady money? You know, they really have messed with the integrity, allowing sports betting to be so closely tied to sports like this. With the companies that are broadcasting the sports are now doing the sports betting companies themselves. That is not a good look. And there is all kinds of conflicts of interest. And in some ways, I want a Senate inquiry. U.S. Senate, you need to inquire on what the fuck is going on with pro sports and betting right now, because there's some messed up shit. You're all going to go and look at steroids in baseball. Y'all are going to go and have these weird hearings of different things over the years. You better for damn sure go have a hearing on sports betting being tied to sports at this point. You're going to need to come around and do that. Yes, you are, U.S. government. If you don't, there's going to be some messed up stuff happening down the road. Watch. Seriously, they just open a can of worms that's going to mess up college sports all kinds of different ways. MSJ sent a hex on Sham's sister. I'm sticking the pins in the Sham sister's voodoo doll. She will pay for messing with us. I cannot be held responsible for any sour milk lattes that come to her life. Oh my gosh. I did not know MSJ knew voodoo or anything like that. You're doing voodoo? Oh my gosh. Wow, MSJ. All right. I'm not messing with MSJ. No, you're a good dude. I like you, Chris. All right, let's see. Iceman saying many NBA media people are saying the Raps won't be good next season, but a lot of them want the Raps to trade their top players. Paranoia, self-pity runs amok among many Raps fans. Keep your chins up. Exactly. That's why this channel is so important. Let's like have a reality check. Let's be proud. Let's be proud to be Raptors fans. And no matter what happens, we will stick together and love our team and root for them, no matter what the ups and downs. The problem is the people that are afraid of losing, is the people that are afraid of not being completely a total success. The people that are afraid of failure, they freak out and they're like, oh no. And then they can't be associated with it and they don't be fans for that time. It's like, oh, the Raptors are a losing team this year. Well, I'm not watching them. Okay. Well, you just showed that you have no loyalty and you're just, you're a casual. You're not a real one like we are, because we're going to watch these games even if they lose. I'm going to watch them. I don't care. I'm going to watch them because I love the Raptors. And that's the most important thing about being a Raptors fan, is because you love your team. And that's the thing that these people are not getting. Once again, if you have fear, if you're afraid of something happening, you've already lost. You want to live a life that's good and happy, be brave. And don't be afraid of anything. You go ahead and face things. And, but once you have fear of things, you've lost. That's just the damn truth. So there's no reason to have fear when there's no reason to have fear. A lot of paranoia and weird shit that people make up in their heads is unnecessary because it's not reality. They manufacture it in their own heads. And that's half of what all this bullshit is, really. Most of it, actually, is just manufactured worries and fears that people are making up in their own heads, where they may not even be the reality of the situation. It's kind of like getting all upset about something you didn't have to get upset about. It's really, really dumb. Thank you, Iceman, for your comment. G saying someone can be loyal and still want the bag. Yeah, exactly. That's also the point of the new CBA, too. Scotty will be the same and good for players whom put themselves in that position. This is exactly right. Some people are, all right, there was a figure that got dropped yesterday, $30 million a year for OG Anunoby. And people were reacting to it. They're speculating that OG's next contract will be a $30 million a year. And I'm like, yeah, of course. That just makes sense. And some people are saying, well, Fred's making 43. Of course, OG's 30 million. And some people are saying OG's not worth 30 million. You're crazy. He is. And some of it is also people are cheap people, and they're like, they see the huge amount of money that the players in the NBA make right now. And they're like, holy crap, we can't pay him 30 million a year. Well, it's not coming out of your bank. It's not coming out of your wallet. The money in the NBA and the TV deals and everything, and the rich are getting richer in this world. Well, the rich got more money to pay the richer, and the rich players. And that's part of it. And they need to get their share. Well, this is the thing. If you feel like it's gross what NBA players are making these days, well, be upset that the inequity of wealth between the haves and the have-nots is widening. And that is why. It has nothing to do with them. They did their jobs, and they're getting paid scale to what the league earns and the teams earn. Commiserate with that. That's why they make that money, the TV deals. So if you really want to be mad at something, be mad at the inequity and wealth in this country, in this continent right now. The very, very rich are getting even more rich, and the people in the middle class are moving down in the lower class, and everybody is kind of in a bad financial place for the most part, except for a very select few. So it's like, don't get mad at the players. They deserve that money. They're getting the cut of the whole big pie that is there. And if they weren't getting it, It would just be more billions and millions for the owners. So that's the thing. I don't get upset at the players. That's kind of fucked up that their pay gets put on blast so publicly, and they get public derision for getting paid so much. Why aren't we doing this to the CEOs? Why aren't we doing this to the motherfuckers that are making crazier amounts of money than them, that privately are making it? We need to put them on blast and publicly chastise them and say, why do you make so much money for sitting at a desk? You don't even do any of the work at your job. You're just a figurehead CEO. You're not in the trenches doing any of the work. You're just collecting all the profits at the top. That's where we need to put stigma. That's where we need to go put pressure. You know, you're going to come at Jaylen Brown for a huge contract that he just signed. Well, you need to go come at contract of the CEO of Apple or the CEO of Sony or the CEO of Disney. You need to go and get those motherfuckers, because those are the fuckers that are really the bad ones. It's not Jaylen Brown. In fact, Jaylen Brown's going to start Black Wall Street, I hear. So he's doing good things with his money. He wants to start a new Wall Street for black people with his new money and his new contract. So that's what I'm saying. It's like how you look at it. He can be loyal to us, Siakam, and still want to get paid the most that he can get paid. There's not a conflict of interest in that. And she's exactly right. Fiercely saying hi to Dana. Stargate saying top of top. You cannot compare Fred's situation to Pascal's at all. Two completely different situations. Fred was a special case. In some ways, this is true. They're all different cases, each individual player in every kind of way. And, they're different personalities. Fred and Pascal have a very different kind of personality in a lot of ways, too. So, there's a lot to it. Cynics will always say, oh, they just want the money. They don't really care about the team. But I don't believe that. I believe that these guys really do get in these relationships with the teams, and they mean something to them, especially when it's your first and you've only been on that team like Pascal has. So that means something. It really does. Cool Cat saying no contract extensions to report for Pascal, OG, Gary Trent. We just have to be patient. CBA still not sorted out. All sorted out. No one knows the TV deals yet as yet either. This is part of it. There's like a calm before the storm. When they find out, like, they need to figure out which entity is going to get the rights to broadcast the NBA in the coming years. It's like Disney and a bunch of other people are jockeying for possibly getting the rights. And after that, and then they see the number, then some of these players may well be like, all right, we're ready to do this because we have a more real number of knowing what the new TV deal is. This is exactly right. This may be part of the reason why this is all held off, is exactly what Cool Cat's saying, is because the money from the new TV deal has to be known, and then they can make the numbers right to figure out exactly how much they should be. So, yeah, that's a really good point by Cool Cat. Isaac Campbell's here. Good to see the benevolent Isaac Campbell. What a sham. I know. Pascal has a better chance of becoming the most statistically significant Raptor in history over the risks of losing him. Bet on that. People upset he is too loyal. I know. This is so messed up. In some ways, this is part of the forces out there that don't want us to have history or culture to the Raptors. They want our guys to leave. They don't want us to have a player like Reggie Miller that stays with us their whole entire career. They don't want us to have a top 25 player. They don't want us to have an NBA champion. They don't want us to have this kind of shit on our roster. And that's part of why they dismantled and tried to take all these names, these specific names, Fred, OG, Pascal, Chris Boucher, all four were champions on our championship team. And they want to get rid of all remnants of our championship team from our team. They got rid of our coach. And they want to get rid of our main second banana after Kawhi, Pascal. He's the only one left, really. OG and Chris didn't play, but they still want to get those rings off our team. They don't want anybody with any Toronto Raptors rings on our team. Do you have not figured that out yet? That Fred was the latest casualty, and Nick. And now they're talking about Pascal next. It's very insidious and nefarious, as people have put in the stream today. It's nefarious forces out there trying to do this. Y'all need to realize this. It's really crazy. Let's see. MSJ saying, I always knew Fred was just about the money. I do not feel that about Pascal at all. He wants his due and can't sign if he's undervalued. And given the money being spent in the NBA, his value is high. Yeah. It's a weird situation where they say, oh, he's not worth that much. And then people around the league don't think he's as good. And they think he's overrated. But in reality, this guy is really good and he isn't overrated. Perception is such a war in the NBA these days. And in some ways, it's very fucked up how they treat Toronto in the perception war, because it's like I said, it's a gaslighting kind of motion. It's very much like, yeah, you guys suck. Why do you think your guys are so good? And you're like, okay, yeah, we want to trade for Siakam. We're going to give you peanuts. Why won't you take that? Why do you think he's so what? And we love him. We want him on our team so bad. And they're like, we just want him. He's no good. You can trade us. We'll give you nothing for him. Like, why do you think we're stupid? Why do these teams think we're stupid? Why does the NBA think we're stupid? We're not. And that's why we're rejecting these offers. Thank you, Masai and Bobby, for having the power to say no, because they're really, really fucked up what's been happening with that. It's so crazy. Iceman's saying nothing wrong with being about the money. The NBA is a business first. I would have left Toronto for $42 million a year. Pascal will get paid like he deserves, whether that time is whenever that time is, and Raptors won't be outbid. Yeah, this is somewhere I'm going to trust on them, is they won't drop the ball with Siakam. Some people may say they think they dropped the ball with Fred, but they didn't. There was nothing they could do. They surfed that wave as best as they could, and they rode that wave to the coast as best as they could. Some people say, oh, well, why couldn't we get a sign and trade and get some assets back for Fred somehow, some way? Well, it just didn't happen. In some ways, the subtraction of Fred is an addition. And we're not tied up in our salary cap in certain ways for the future, partly with Fred's salary. So this is in some ways very good. There's always a pro and a con to everything. It's up to you if you want to look at the con side more than the pro side. And there's a lot of pros to Fred being gone. And I'll choose to look at those first. Now, the deficiencies with our team and how it's run next year because Fred's absence, those will be the cons. And hopefully we can fill those gaps and make him not that hard to miss in some ways. We'll have to see. Cool guy saying every year Pascal is in trade talks. Just leave it alone, and Raptors and Pascal will discuss the team's goal. That's right. That's a great mindset to have right now. Let's just forget about it. Let's not over obsess about this. In some ways, we just need to just let it be. It just needs to do what it's going to do in time. It'll happen. It'll happen the way it's supposed to. Monique's saying, I said what I said about Pascal yesterday to you, Lex. That's it. What did you say? I'm trying to see. Was it in one of our chats? Okay, well, here's a little bit of notes from the chat yesterday. I've dropped this yesterday. This guy, Adam Seaborn, saying that the Toronto Raptors are valued at $3.34 billion per new Sportico data, $1.2 billion more than the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not a lot of Canadians would have believed that 10 years ago. So the information came out yesterday that the Raptors franchise is worth $3.34 billion, and that is $1.2 billion more than the Leafs are valued at. So the Raptors are a more valuable franchise. They have been more valuable than the Leafs for a few years now, but they're even more now. They're like over $1 billion worth more than the Maple Leafs. Fantastic. That's great news. I love that. Now let me go see, what is Monique talking about? I want to see what she's saying. Was it in those comments? Or let me see. Yeah, I don't know where that comment is, Monique, exactly what you're saying. I know how you stand on the Siakam stuff, though. Richard's here. Good to see Richard Garcia, a great Raptor freak. Lots of Pascal hate, man. Instead of saying he's not a number one, why not add to him? Hopefully Scotty is in the same timeline. Yeah, a lot of people think that it's like a starving baby kind of thing. There's only two teats, and you don't have enough teats for everyone. Now, what are you going to do? You can't feed Scotty and feed Pascal and feed OG and feed Gary, and they're getting all out of their heads. Just let them do what they're going to do. Y'all are already premeditating too much, and just kind of just let things happen the way they are. I think Richard's right. There's too much bullshit about Pascal right now. Some people don't value him correctly in Raptors Nation. And they're like, yeah, we're ready to ship him. Y'all are fucking stupid. Everybody who thinks it's okay for us to trade Siakam right now, you're idiots. Is not okay. That's too much change from last year. That is way too much change. You've got to understand that. And sometimes I wonder who these people are when they're so quick to want to trade Fred and Pascal from last season for Scotty's sake. Y'all do not understand what we've been trying to do in basketball here in Toronto Raptors franchise. And this is not helpful or good. And you need to have a good team around Scott for him to want to stay here. So yeah, and then talking about timelines with players and where they are in their careers and stuff like that, that's silly too. Like I really do believe you want to have different cohorts at different ages, and that'll enrich the environment on your team of having varied ages. And there's no such thing as having all your players be the same age and coming up at the same time. That's all bullshit. That is such bullshit. Like, I can't believe people get upset. They're saying, oh, they're not on Scotty's timeline, so they shouldn't be on this team. That's the stupidest logic I've ever heard in the world. When has that ever been something in the NBA? Oh, they're not on the same timeline, so he can't be on that team. That sounds like some made up, convoluted bullshit from the other side of the border to try and pry Pascal off our team. Oh, he's not on the same timeline as Scotty, so he shouldn't be on the Raptors with Scotty. That's so stupid. Seriously, doesn't that sound stupid when I say that? That sounds stupid to me when I say it. Top saying Stargate. How is it different? Pascal watched Fred get overpaid, and now he wants the same. That's not true. Both sides could have easily accepted an extension, but it's clear he's on the trading block. Let's be logical. Okay, top. All right. It is different because they're different people. They're different situations. It's different money. It's different time. You can't just blanketly say everything generically is the same. Sure, he's cynical about Fred, but don't be cynical about Siakam. It's a different situation. It's definitely different. Pascal, I don't think he cares about what happened with Fred. He saw it and he's not really thinking about it for himself. Siakam's on his own schedule. He's got his own schedule for money and his own accolades. In some ways, he should get paid more than Fred. Seriously, Fred getting $43 million. I'm not saying we should pay Pascal. If we can pay him less, that's great. But in some ways, it's weird that Fred maybe is going to be making more than Pascal next year because in some ways, that's not right. Siakam should be paid more than Fred. But, and the other stuff about the extension stuff and saying when somebody could have signed it, this is nothing that we know for sure. So everybody who's speculating, well, Fred got offered an extension, then he dissed it, or Siakam hasn't got an offer or anything. We don't fucking know. We don't know if there's been extension talks. We don't know when they were last year either. We don't know if Fred said no to extension to try and be greedy. We don't know the truth about any of that. People can say, oh, I've seen this and I heard this, but some of that is just hearsay. And we do not know who's telling the truth exactly, whether it's the front office or the player who's talking about extension talks and rejecting extensions or actually getting offers to extensions. I've heard every single different outcome. Whereas like some of them said there were no extension talks at all the whole entire year. There was an extension talk with Fred, but he rejected it. There was the Raptors, decided to not talk to him for the whole year. There's been a couple of different outcomes, and I don't know what to believe. So when the extension stuff is just extra bullshit. It's like they're not even free agents. You're talking about extensions. When does this fucking end? Is what I'm asking. When can we just sit with our team and be like, yeah, we're not worried about getting anybody extended. We're not worried about free agents next summer. Can we just have a period of time where we're not in this panic mode about next offseason? We haven't even started the season. And that's the thing that's pissing me off. Everybody's getting way ahead of themselves. And maybe that's part of what wrecked last season is because people over speculated about Fred's stupid ass extension all year. It became dumbass noise. People turned on Fred. And then all this kind of stupid ass shit happened last year. So I'm just sick of it. Over speculating about extensions is something that I'm just going to be like, what the fuck? It's just a waste of time. Let's just stop. Just let them do their jobs. If things happen, then we'll react to them. But if there's nothing happening, there's nothing to talk about, then there's nothing to fucking talk about. And that's where I kind of feel about these extension talks at this point. It's so stupid. Fiercely saying, I can't become a member as I'm using my iPad and the icon doesn't show. We must log in via computer to see the member icon, and then I can register. Okay, Fiercely. It's not, like I said, none of this is mandatory. It's just that I know some of y'all have wanted a way to support the channel without doing the super chats. And whatever you want to do, it's like it's fine. I'm not gonna give, I will give preference to people that are members because that's part of the whole YouTube thing, but I'm still gonna read everybody's comments. And it's not going to change what the channel's been already doing. It's kind of like I'm adding a few little perks on top for people that want to join. So, but fiercely, if you want to get on another computer, or if you don't want to do it, or it doesn't work out to do it, that's fine too. I love you. You're awesome. Seymour saying, "Wow, really, fiercely? That's interesting." I'm on my phone. You can see it, Seymour. Well, either way, in some ways, I'm kind of already don't want to have it. I'm kind of want to turn it off already because I feel like it's weird. I don't necessarily like it in some ways. I wanted to try it for experimental reasons. I was kind of tinkering with it yesterday, and that's why I turned it on, and just to see how it works. But in some ways, if it's something that I feel like isn't benefiting the channel, I will turn it off and take it away again. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're just trying it out first. Fun guy saying, but top of top, Pascal will be eligible for the most money with Raptors if he gets all NBA. That's why he doesn't want to trade. Yeah, he doesn't want to go anywhere else because he can get paid the most here. So there's a lot of ways in his interest that it is better for him to just stay in Toronto. There's a lot of reasons why it's in his best interest to want to stay in Toronto. Trust me, a lot of reasons. Richard saying, that's true, man. So no stream on FIBA Canada YouTube. That's sad, man. I know. I don't get that. Like, why would you drop the ball so much? This is maybe the best ever collected Canadian basketball players ever at this point in time today at 1:30, and we're not going to get to see them. This is really, in some ways, I wonder if this is them trying to hurt people getting more invested or wanting to watch basketball. There could be a very Canadian national pride for watching a Canadian basketball team play Germany today, and they're just not fucking going to do something about it. That's messed up. That's messed up. Like I said, if I find a way to find it, I will put it up and I'll put it on there on our Facebook stream. And I may try to put it on here too. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Good morning, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Blessings on you and your loved ones. Won't be able to join you the next few days. Traveling to Toronto for a conference Thursday to Saturday. Great to hear you're coming to the city, Randolph. I hope you have safe travels. Blessings to you and the Phillips family and all your friends and your colleagues and everyone you're going to see at the conference. I hope you have a fantastic time back in Toronto. And, listen, you may not be here on the stream, but you'll be here in the city with us, and I'll feel your presence. So we wish you great travels. And when you come back again to the stream, we'll be happy to see you for sure. Let's see. Tristan saying you can press join on mobile device next to subscription bell or on YouTube channel. Okay, thank you. Who's that? Isaac Campbell, thank you for joining as a purple level member. The benevolent Isaac Campbell. Oh, that's so cool. Very cool. I find that's interesting. Some of this is just kind of discovering YouTube and how it works. And in some ways, it's like really, I mean, like I said, if it takes away from the channel, it doesn't add to it, I'll probably turn it off. I really will. We'll see. We'll see how it is. Iceman saying the only way Pascal or OG gets traded is if someone offers Raptors an insane Gobert-like trade offer. Pascal is a Raptors player for life. Book it. OG too, hopefully. I love that, man. I love that. Iceman like Gervin, you really have come in like a badass on this channel, and I really do appreciate you. And I wish those things too so much. I really, really do. I don't like these guys going somewhere because we've invested so much and got so much out of them. It's kind of like if you are a wood carver and you have a big piece of wood and you carve it into something so beautiful and intricate and you put it up and you got it at your house and you're like, I put so much work into this and nobody will value this as much as I did because I put so many hours in fine crafting this piece of wood to look so beautiful and creating this statue of Dennis Schroeder. And if I sell it to someone, they may not appreciate it as much as me partly because I put the work into it and the time into it and the effort. The Raptors put the time and the work and the effort into these guys and developing them. And, you send that wood carving to another house. They may not appreciate it as much because they don't understand the lineage of the work it took to get to that point. And I think that's part of it. And in some ways, the haphazard NBA movement these days really cuts these away from fan bases. Like that's why Russell Westbrook goes somewhere and the fan base doesn't respect him, is because they have no respect for the lineage of what that player did before in the other place. And that's what I worry about with Siakam. He could go to another team and then they don't respect him the same way as Raptors Nation respects him because they don't understand what he did to get to where he is right now. That's what I'm saying. All right, who is that? Somebody else joined up. Oh, Trevor J. Thank you, Trevor J, joining up as a purple member. That's right. We got some purple dinosaurs. All right, let me see what else y'all are saying here. Kareem Thomas is here. Good to see Kareem Thomas, a dunk leader in our league. Not sure who else on Team Canada will drop out, but Chris Boucher needs to be on this effing team. Yes, yes, and yes, and yes. And yesterday and like a year ago, yes, this should all been happening. I agree. But it's not looking like he's going to get invited in this cycle. But I think they really need to strongly consider him for later. As I said, the depth at the front court for the Team Canada team is a little bit shallow. You know, you got that young kid, Zach. He's behind Olenek and Brissett's out, so he's not going to be able to play. But Powell, you got like three big men. Why can't you have Boucher just for a little bit more big man depth? Why not Rowan Barrett? Please give Chris a call, please. Seymour saying thanks, Tristan. Yeah, for the info on the mobile. And David saying good morning. Good to see David Saborin. Tristan saying no problem. David saying smash that like button. Thank you, David. Let's see. All right, where am I at with this? Hang on, I'm gonna get back on track here. Good to see so many different names in here today. I love seeing all the different Raptor freaks together and kibitzing and getting talking our stuff, getting it all figured out. I do want to talk about the German team in a second. Let's see. Holy crap, you guys are going crazy. I love how much is on here. So much is on here. Let's see. Okay, hang on. All right. Holy crap. All right. I might get a cutoff, guys. If you can give me a cutoff, because I might need it just to catch up with you guys. All right. Here you go. This is where I'm at. Stargate saying at top of top, what is logical is that Fred and Pascal are two completely different personalities with different beliefs and different motives. If that is not obvious to you, well, hey, everybody's not the same. Well, one thing is easy to point out is that Fred has kids. Pascal does not. There's a lot of different ways that mindset can change things. You know, Fred could be very greedy, partly because he has 3 young children and he really wants to set up little baby Layla. So he's like, yeah, I'll take 43 million to go move to Houston, even though this is a back ass word state and it's all messed up. I'll have money. Ha 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 ha. And my kids will be rich forever. You know, he's worried about that kind of stuff. I don't know with Siakam as the rich uncle, maybe worried about passing it on to his nieces and nephews right now. And maybe he'll have kids soon. But right now, that's part of the difference in motivation right there is Fred has a family and Pascal is a single man. So there's going to be a little bit of a different kind of like mindset just from that for sure. Cool Cat saying Fred came from a struggle environment. Money is very important to him. Pascal had a privileged environment growing up in Cameroon. So his perspective on money is different to Fred. Winning matters. See, that's cool. See, in part of the ways, that is part of the reason why Siakam's not going to stop working just because he got a lot of money. Is because in some ways, everybody's different. Some people value money, overvalue money. They very much. And some people are more like me. And they're like, money isn't the end of the world. Money doesn't rule my world. I do not want money to rule my world. In a lot of ways, I strive for that kind of a lifestyle as much as I can because money stress kills people. Money stress makes people do stupid shit in their life. And that's what I'm saying. Don't let that almighty God money rule your life. Because you will have a very empty, hollow life if you do. And that's part of it. I think that's exactly right what Cool Cat's saying. Fred struggled. His dad was killed when he's very young, and his mother had to hold it together and keep them all alive and okay. And that wasn't the easiest. Meanwhile, Siakam, I'm telling you, like they said that he has been from a very nice part of Cameroon. As far as his father was the head of the TTC over there. He was the head of the Transit Commission in Cameroon in the city that he lived in. So they were a well-to-do family. And it's not that Pascal comes from utmost privilege, but he's used to being comfortable already. And it's like, you know what? It's like in some ways, that's not what matters to him. I think this is true. Why would he work like a maniac like he does? He got paid. He could rest on his laurels. He's working even harder now. That tells something right there. That's what tells right there. Cool Cat saying, bummer, I don't use Facebook anymore. Even planning to drop Twitter. I use Spoutable as my Twitter alternative. Yeah, we'll have to figure this out because I do want it to be some sort of way. I've thought about getting it. I have a Discord. I've thought about doing it that way. And maybe that's the way to do it because I do realize some people are just not going to be on Facebook. So we'll have to see. Thank you, David, for becoming a gold level member. Holy crap. David's getting the whole kit and caboodle. And David, that means you're going to get some extra perks now. So this is very interesting. I have to figure out what they are. I might be like, okay, gold members, what do you want? I'll give you a cameo or something. You want an extra little special message from the Raptor Freak to have for you to show people or something, like we can do that. There's a couple different things I'm trying to figure out what it could be. If there's something that y'all want, maybe we can ask. You can ask me, and we can see if I'll do it. We'll see. Let's see. Stargate saying, MSJ, are you a Haitian? I don't believe he's Haitian, but he was just in Central America. Let's see. Top saying, I am a fun guy. We're saying the same thing. Pascal can make the most money here, but my Masai ultimately does not want to ever pay him Supermax. Hence part of why we were shopping him. I think that Masai and Bobby, once again, they're looking at all the opportunities and the possibilities, and they have to investigate them all. And, with Dame Lillard dangling out there, James Harden, different things are going on still, even though the offseason's kind of over. It's not really. That's part of it, is they have to be light on their feet and be opportunists. And in some ways, I guess that could be part of it. They don't want to pay him the Supermax. I don't think that's true. I think in some ways they want to pay the guys because, like, in some ways we want the fruit and the plant and the flower to bloom as fully as possible. Why would you want to cut it off when it's just about to get even more open? You want to enjoy the real fruits of the whole thing. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that Bobby Masai and Larry Tannenbaum are afraid of paying supermaxes to players. It's not like a weird thing where they're like, okay, this guy's on his schedule. He's about to get the big money. Let's let him go and go somewhere else. There may be some of that with some players, but with a certain player at some point, they got to be like, no, we're investing in him. We're keeping him. And to me, Siakam's the perfect guy to do this with, because we know if you throw a huge bag at him, he's not going to be less relentless with his workout. And that's why I'm saying this is the guy you want to throw money at, because he's not going to slouch no matter what. He's going to go even harder if he makes even more money, I'll bet. Monique saying, in reference to the Dennis news, people and fans are saying start Flynn. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have to see what Darko does. It's going to be very good. MSJ's got You Fear the Reaper. Will Ferrell. Yeah. G saying sometimes people confuse loyalty with settling. Someone doesn't need to settle and undervalue themselves to show loyalty. Loyalty goes both ways. It's a business. Players can be traded, so make your bag. Yeah, it's a tough thing. I mean, we love Siakam. Siakam loves the Raptors. Raptors love Siakam, but that money stuff makes everything complicated sometimes. And that is part of it. Loyalty can be taken away, like DeMar DeRozan, real quick. And that's what I'm saying. These players understand. Siakam saw what happened to DeMar. He was here. He understands this. Iceman is saying, just seen a photo of Malachi working out at Seattle University with their player development coach, Steven Shapirigan. Flynn looking like he's been in the weight room. Don't sleep on him. He's just 25 years old. This is good. I like this information. So he looks bigger. That's good. And, well, now we know where he is. I was hoping he'd be in LA with those guys. Maybe he'll just hop, skip, and a jump a little bit south and get down there and be at Rico Hines' run still. Well, this is good. We'll have to see. Malachi, there's opportunities for you. You reach out and go get them. This is your time to shine. Fred's gone. Nick Nursery's gone. So Eric should be telling you, yeah, it's your time, Malachi. Go get it. And that should be right. Dana's saying, have a good day, everyone. Got to go pick up my weed order. There you go, Dana. I wonder what you're getting today. I'm a sativa guy myself. Hopefully you're getting something good. Yeah, I love this. I was so forthright with your information. Cool Cat saying it would be nice to get Flynn's confidence up. I agree with that. He has good confidence. It's just he's got to stay on the floor. He's got to stay on the floor. Tristan's all about what Dana's talking about. MSJ saying Stargate, no, but I do have much respect for voodoo ideals of LWA and the mix of Catholic and West African spiritualism. It was just a joke. I say that gambling in the NBA is possession, though. Yeah, I worry about the NBA with the gambling too. I mean, seriously, this is not a good thing. That this greedy people that want to have sports books and stuff like that, Opening this up and making this more mainstream and shoved down our throats on TV all the time, this is not good. This is not a good trend. Seriously, really isn't. MSJ, whatever your background is with learning voodoo ideals, I'm not gonna mess with you. Let's just put it that way. Wayne saying thanks, Lex. Thank you for not highlighting on your channel every trade rumor on Pascal. The so-called offer from Atlanta is akin to Trump saying he's the most honest president ever. Kindly ignore. Yeah, I've heard it's like DeAndre Hunter, AJ Griffin was actually in the latest version. I mean, what's the point? I'm not going to overanalyze that. I'm going to say, okay, thanks for showing us your trash bucket, Atlanta Hawks. You know, can we take you seriously? No, we can't. Don't even come around with that crap. Tristan saying it would be nice to see Flynn out there. He did good things for us in Tampa. Yeah. Yeah, it's his time. In some ways, he's the next one up to get a chance, even before Scotty. But in some ways, he's not probably the best option. So we'll have to see how it all works out. You know, it is for his opportunity, though, to go steal it and take it. And that's the way a lot of these guys should be thinking, whether it's Jeffrey Doughton Jr., Marquise, you know, Dennis. The point guard stuff on the Raptors is kind of open. Fred's gone. This is a void, and it's not totally sure who's taking it. Everybody, a lot of people are saying it's Scotty, and it's just a done deal, and that may be true. But if there's any kind of opening, it's now. And Malachi needs to jump in it if he really wants it. He needs to jump in it. Cool Cat saying when players are earning millions in the CBA contract, don't discount the billions being earned. NBA Players Association were smart to share the profits 51% to team owners, 49% to players. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Don't get mad at the guys who have to have their salaries put on blast publicly because that's sports entertainment and sports media. Get mad at the guys in the shadows behind the scenes that nobody talks about that are making even grosser numbers that you don't get to know about or you don't hear because they're not put on blast. Let's put them on blast and ostracize and critique those motherfuckers for how much they get made. In some ways, they aren't earning it the same way that the NBA players are. They really are not earning it. They're just parasites on the backs of everybody, sucking us dry. Yeah, there you go. Carlos saying, would it be possible that front office and Pascal already talked about it and he would like to go after the Supermax? Maybe that's why they haven't had that extension talk. I believe for sure. You know, it was so muddled last year about whether Fred was talking to them about extensions. You know, so many different things were said. I don't know what to believe. It's all water on the bridge. I don't really care. But in some ways, I trust that Masai is going to have a more forthright conversation with Pascal about this than he would have with Fred. In some ways, the Rich Paul factor is a part of the reason why. You know, it could very well be that Siakam can sit and talk to Masai and his agent can be there too, and they can talk directly, and the agent isn't in the middle of it meddling. And that's a big difference right there between Fred and Pascal that we're not talking about. The presence of Clutch and Rich Paul being at the table with Fred changes a lot. And it could very well be that it's a little bit more laid back and friendly between Siakam and Ujiri when they are talking about extension stuff. And like I said, there could be plans. They're not telling us publicly, but there could very well be an underlying plan about the timing about it. And it has to do with stuff with the Supermax and, you know, figuring out how much he can make. I think this is right. Carlo's right that they may have already talked. And it's just that nobody knows. And we're just, you know, this could happen. We don't know. That's why it's like when we over speculate is so stupid because we really don't know. Top of Top saying that, gee, nothing wrong with making your money and Pascal is worth an extension. But the fact Masai is balking at doing it and he hasn't been signed yet is not a good look for him and just overall optics. Well, what is the timeline on this Top of Top? Is it your timeline? Is it Pascal's? Is it Masai's? Is it the Toronto Raptors timeline? And it is in some ways we got to trust Masai to get the timing right. It could very well be part of the reason why they can't do the extension with Siakam right now is they're trying to stay light on their feet to possibly get Lillard or to possibly make another move still this offseason. Sometimes timing has to do with opportunities and lining up windows to be able to do stuff. And then when those windows close, then all of a sudden things start happening. So I think that that's what it is. We know this Raptors front office values being flexible and being able to move. And it could very well be they're keeping flexible by not making an extension now.
in some ways. That could be part of it. The rumblings about Gary getting his extension like 2 weeks ago weren't true, and they were talking about it, but it didn't actually get executed. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how this all works. And I know it's optics, but optics are going to be all screwed up and messed up and perverted by forces that hate the Raptors no matter what. So top of talk, we can't be worried about optics. They're going to pervert them and change them and make them bad for us no matter what. That's just what they do. They're trying to, it's a spin cycle. They're spinning it in a way against us, no matter what it is. They'll look at the wrong side and portray that side. That's why I'm doing the opposite on this channel. G saying, what players that make All NBA are signing extensions before the season starts? They wait to see if they make All NBA to qualify for more. This is not all in Masai's control. It takes two sides to deal. And there's a lot of factors, and timing does matter. You want to make sure you make the deal at the right time so you don't have buyer's regret. You want to make sure you do when like I said, it doesn't sacrifice flexibility for possible other moves also. So that's good management. That's a good front office, understanding timing of things and how to game it so that it's the best situations for your team. Now, the Jaylen Brown thing happened because he got all his accolades last year and he qualified for that Supermax and he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. I think if Siakam had qualified for his contract at the end of the year by getting all NBA and getting that accolade, we might have had him already tied up by now. It could very well be that Masai and Bobby, why don't we paint it this way? They want to pay him as much as they can possibly pay him. And they understand this and they want to give him another shot to get that money this year by playing at that kind of level. We'll have to see. It's like the timing's a little sticky because obviously he doesn't get all NBA until after the season's over. And then the trade deadline's already passed in February. So in some ways I get it where people are a little stressed out about this, but trust in Masai and Bobby, they're going to figure it out and they'll get it done the right way. So we'll have to see. Carlos saying at top of top, the problem is we are only getting bits of pieces of the whole picture. We really don't know what's being talked about. You're basically creating narratives based on that. That's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. It's the conjecture is like goes into really crazy places that are nowhere near reality. And these players are laughing about it in some ways. They see the craziest shit written about them and put out there that's just not true in all kinds of different ways. And they understand there is a disconnect between fan perception from media and what they think and what the real truth is about things. The whole thing that happened with the Raptors last year, we have no idea exactly what the toxic was exactly. And in some ways we shouldn't know. But I'm sure that the players and some of the people sit back and listen and they're like, whoa, these fans are really crazy. What they're extrapolating from the reality and what we have let them know in little bits to where they're at, they're crazy. They're absolutely jumping to conclusions. Is what they are saying and stuff. You don't know what you're talking about. You weren't in those rooms. You do not know, is what they're telling us. Cool Cat saying, when you are Raptors, they want you to be underrated. Then when our players hit stateside, they are stars. Laugh out loud. They want our players on the cheap. Yeah. Fred VanVleet's going to blossom this year in the public image in the U.S. on the Rockets. They may market him very heavily in certain ways on that side of the border all of a sudden. They're going to say certain things about him in different ways. They may describe him in a totally different way, a very glowing way than they would have when he was on our team. That's just how it is. They very much slant perception. And that's a very important weapon in the media these days. Cool Cat saying something to consider. Pascal could end up the NBA's Hall of Fame. He is the most awarded Raptors player right now, 27th pick, making a name for himself and his family. Good on him with his work ethic. Yeah. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame eventually. He's an NBA champion. He's done some very important things. He's a good player. A lot of people laugh at me. You think Siakam's a Hall of Fame player? Well, if he gets a second championship, you damn for sure he is. Yeah, he is. So we'll see. They're going to slide him. But in a lot of ways, his numbers, and if he has a long, healthy career, will line up, and they will be the kind of thing where, like, you know what? We can't ignore Pascal Siakam and possibilities of him being in the Hall of Fame. Seriously, I believe this too. I think he should be in the NBA Hall of Fame by the end of his career if all goes right. If he gets another championship, he should definitely be there. Seriously. Carlos saying this front office doesn't care about optics anyway. They definitely don't. No, they don't. They have their own vision and plans. Most of the time, these writers just don't have a clue and are just speculating. Yeah. If we cared about what other people think, well, then we would be selling our guys at a garage sale for nothing.
because that's what they're telling us, that we're too stingy. We're hard to deal with. So they want to come and okay, well, you said that and we feel bad about it. So we're going to give you our guys for nothing. Okay. Wow. That really worked. US media. You're so smart. Gaslighting us, telling us we're stingy, that you actually made us feel bad about it. And then we actually turned around and gave you our guys for nothing. I mean, that's what do they think? I mean, this is hilarious. And Carlo's right. We don't give a shit what they're saying or thinking. And honestly, they don't have a realistic vision of what the Raptors are, the franchise, the culture, and what we're doing in a lot of ways. They just think we're the purple dinosaur Raptors. A lot of people around the NBA still think that, even though we won a championship, we've been one of the most winningest franchises in the NBA for like the last 10 years. They look past all that. They still see the purple dinosaur in the early years of the Raptors in some people's heads. They don't pay attention. They really don't. Let's see. Stargate saying, and the hockey folks don't like the fact that hence why they are pro hockey entities pushing covert anti basketball and anti Raptors narratives. Yeah, that's part of it too. Like they feed into it also. And there's Leaf fans that in some ways don't like the Raptors taking more of the attention, and they will act like they're Raptors fans, and they'll come in and they'll nag, and they'll kind of be like half-ass fans. I've seen Leaf fans on Twitter saying stupid ass shit about the Raptors in the last week, and I go and look at their profile and I'm like, oh, they're a Leaf fan first. No wonder. Like I'm not gonna listen to anybody from Leafs Nation if they're a Leaf fan first. I don't listen to y'all when you talk about the Raptors because you don't know what you're fucking talking about. Let's just put it that way. And this is true. Kareem saying, people saying we lost Freddie for nothing. To that, I say Dennis Schroeder, Javon Freeman Liberty, Jalen McDaniels, Garrett Temple, Gary Trent Jr., and OG. We established our bench and retained some vets. There you go, Kareem. I like turning it around and put it on the sunny side. I like that. That's right. Trevor saying fans need to understand the money that these players are getting or overstock profits off of many, many, many years the owners made. Yeah, they just got their fair share of the pie, and that pie is obscenely, grossly huge. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The price, the much they're getting paid, people will say, well, they need to bring the prices down, or they need to do that. Well, maybe that's true too. But that's the thing. It's the TV deals that fuels this kind of money. And is all that money supposed to go to the MLSE board and Larry Tannenbaum? No, it should go to the players, the actual workers, the guys who are on the court and putting it in and doing all the things in their lives to get to that point. Some ways the guys in the NBA get paid not just for playing in the league right now, they get paid for all the years of preparation as kids and teenagers and getting to that point. That is accrued money from years and years before, growing up and getting in that work to be able to get that level. In some ways, you're paying them from way, way before. And that's part of why they get paid so much. MSJ said, I want to see Pascal in a new and more dynamic offense where he doesn't have to take such tough shots to score. He can be athletic, but often it's too tricky. And with center, let's see him at power forward sometimes. Yeah, he should never be playing center. That makes me have bad memories of Tampa. If I see Siakam having to guard centers and play physical with the biggest guy on the other side of the court, he should never, ever have to do that. That's a waste of his energy, having to expend physical energy against a bigger guy. That was never, ever a smart thing. And that I was pissed at Nick for that in some ways. It's like, I don't care if Alex Len sucks. Put Alex Len in there just so he can wrestle with the biggest player on the other team. Don't have OG and Pascal fighting with the centers in Tampa. That was pissing me off so much. Yeah, I want to see the difference between Nick and Darko is that Siakam gets easier shots and he doesn't have to work so hard. And then all of a sudden, boom, he's more effective at the end of the game because he's not worn down so much, going through so much contact and trying to do so much isolation ball by himself. He can get easier baskets playing off of Scotty, OG, and those other guys. Give and go, whatever. Scotty has incredible court vision, just setting up Pascal for the easy baskets. That's what we want to see. Kenrick saying some players we develop don't want to leave. DeMar is an example of that. Yeah. I mean, it's weird because in some ways you're like, okay, these guys say they don't want to leave, but maybe deep down, some of them do want to leave. But I don't, with some of these guys, I know they were real. Like DeMar was real about this. It hurt him too badly. He fell into depression when we traded him for Kawhi. That was real. That was completely real. And that was really hard. And it's so public. And as he said, we are like a girlfriend to him, an old girlfriend. And he'd come back and play in Toronto as a visitor. And it was like, yeah, seeing an old girlfriend with like a new boyfriend.
And it was tough for him. It's been tough for him in some ways, and that's a real one. And so every single player is different. Like DeMar really did love Toronto and wanted to be here, and we stabbed him in the back, and I hate it. I still hate it to this day. Good to see you, Kenrick. Y'all, if you need a tattoo or some art done, Kenrick Chronic Art James is your guy. Check him out on Facebook under Kenrick Chronic Art James. He can be available to do work for you. Richard's saying you can't compare Fred and Pascal. Fred's more like Ted DiBiase, while Pascal's more like the Ultimate Warrior. I love this, Richard. You have injected classic WWF into our chat today. And I have a price for everyone. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. What a great wrestler, and not a fantastically popular wrestler, but not a great wrestler in Jim Hellwig, the Ultimate Warrior. But that's pretty funny. I think I would have picked somebody different for Siakam. Can we maybe give him The Rock or somebody instead? Or I don't know, somebody cooler. I hate the Ultimate Warrior. But I get what your point is. You're saying that DiBiase is all about the money, and Fred was like that. I get it. I get what you're saying. Carlos saying the bottom line facts is Fred is not worth 40 million. That's for sure. And the front office did not match it. With Pascal, they know his value and will pay up. Yeah. Yeah. And we got priced out. There was no way we were going to match that. We couldn't. We just couldn't. There was no realistic way to do it. So it's like, okay, Fred, go ahead. Overpaid by Houston. And we'll see how quickly they're critical of him this season for getting paid that much and what he's doing on the court. We'll see how quickly that happens. Top saying at Carlo, my thing is Pascal is in his peak year, couldn't get us out of the play-in. I look at it in terms of asset management and leverage. We're putting ourselves in a position to have no leverage. Well, in some ways, you're saying that Siakam's had his peak year? I don't believe that. I think he's still getting better. He's got levels. Like, this is the thing. Some of these guys, when they get to a certain level of superstardom, they fine-tune their game. It's not like Siakam's physically going to go down too much. This dude's a machine. He's like in such incredible shape. He said 2 years ago, I can't afford to be tired. So he has incredible endurance. He's got more and more strength. We've seen his arms bulk up every season when he comes back, and he's working on his shot. He's making his shot more efficient. That's the thing they said they're trying to do in Austria right now. Get Pascal to be more efficient shooter. So he's improving. You cannot say he's had his peak year and they only got us to the play-in. That's bullshit. That is such bullshit. That dude could be better this year than he was last year. Don't sleep on this. He is going to be better. He's going to get better partly because he's going to get smarter and wiser. And if Darko can help him with a better system, you may be seeing some shocking things about Siakam this season, that things are way easier for him. You're going to be like, holy crap, Siakam is even better than he was last year. Holy cow. Because that's his whole goal this summer. What do you think he's doing over in Salzburg right now? He's trying to be a better player for next year, and he will. Don't act like he's peaked. Fred may have peaked. That may be true. Fred may have peaked, but I don't think Siakam has. There's no indication that Siakam has peaked at where he's peaked yet. He's not at his ceiling. So don't get it twisted. And that's in some of the ways, it's like you can talk about leverage and like getting value out of the asset and all the asset management, but that asset's still on the rise. And once again, you want a guy who keeps working and improving, even if he gets big bags. That's the kind of guy you hold on to forever. You don't let guys like that go, because so many of the other guys in the NBA get big bags and they stop trying as hard. It's kind of like you win a championship and you're like, oh, I won a championship. I got to the top. I'm not going to try as hard to get the repeat because I've already done it. It's harder to get that gumption the second time. Well, Siakam, he won a championship. He's got a big bag. It's not stopping him from working. And that's why we need to make him a priority. That's why we do. Fiercely saying, I was just giving a tip for my fellow Raptor freak couldn't see the icon. Okay. All right. Yeah, there's the thing on there too. There's the super chat still too. G saying, for example, Jaylen Brown did not sign his extension before the season. No agent with an all-star and all-star caliber players are encouraging extension talks preseason. Yeah, some of this isn't even up to the player. It could be that Siakam's like, I just don't want to hear this noise anymore. Can we just do this? And then his agent's like, well, it doesn't really benefit you because we want to maximize what your earning can possibly be. And if you sign right now, you may be able to make more later. Oh, okay. Thanks for that advisement. It may not even be Siakam's wishes. He could be like, I hate this shit. I just want to get it done. And then his management company is saying, you need to wait because it's just smart business. Okay. All right. It could be as simple as that.
Siakam saying, or G saying Pascal scored 32 points in the play-in. Four players combined 21 scored 21. Players blaming Pascal for the play-in game is not right. Nick Nurse made zero adjustments to Levine also. Yeah, that whole game was a mess. And I don't blame Siakam for anything in that game. I just blame the coach and the team not being prepared. And that's totally the coach's fault. That team was not prepared. We actually played very well. We had that lead, but they let it crumble and let it fall apart. In some ways, maybe they were trying to set up Nick to get fired for sure. Let a 17-point lead in the second half go away in a play-in elimination game. It's a failure. It's a very, very, very drastic failure. And boom, there you go. It looks bad on the coach. Boom, he's fired. If there was any weirdness and Nick was any kind of emanating any fucked up shit around our team, well, make sure he gets fired for sure. You beat them in the play-in, you get into the playoffs, you play a playoff series. That may have been enough success to save Nick's job, but the problems would still be there underlying, and they'd still be around. And we don't get quicker to the next part, which is what we had to do. And that's the thing. You're going to put it off, and it's going to happen eventually anyway. It'll just make things even more worse and damaging. That's why they had to cut the head off the snake and get Nick fired right away. And in some ways, them having that horrible exit, it was a part of him getting fired. And if they had maybe made the playoffs and done anything successful, he wouldn't have been fired, obviously. So in some ways, this is good that we did fail in the play-in, because if Nick's toxic and he had some success at the end of the season, his job would have been saved and the toxic would have continued this year. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I mean, that in some ways, that's what it seems like to me. Isaac, thank you once again. Carlos saying, top, NBA is a tough league to play in. You can't expect a single player to get us out of the play-in. It's the whole system that was not working. Yeah, I definitely don't blame Pascal for the play-in. I do not. I'll blame Nick and I'll blame DR and I'll blame just in general, like the vibes around the team. And that's all Nick. Nick should have had them prepared and ready, and things are just kind of messed up. We knew they were messed up. We knew they were. Isaac saying, let's go Canada. That's right. I got to get done here. This game's going to be starting in about 2 hours, and I got to find it. Tristan saying, yeah, it's dumb the networks are not investing in that Canadian basketball. It's so dumb. They get good like viewership right now. They really would. There's a lot of people that want to watch this game at 1:30, and they just drop the ball. It's like they're out of touch, and they don't even understand what the Canadian sports public wants to watch. They really do shove different things down our throats, like curling. I mean, curling's important. I get it. But the way they preempt other sports for curling sometimes pisses me off. Like when you put more importance on curling over the NBA, which is a huge moneymaker, and doing all this kind of stuff on your sports channels here in Canada, it pisses me off. You shouldn't be preempting basketball, NBA for curling. I'm sorry. No disrespect to curling, but y'all aren't one of them four major sports, and you're not a billion-dollar league like this one. And that's the difference. That's the thing that mystifies me. Yeah, thank you again, Trevor J. Top saying it, Carlo, if you're angling for a Supermax contract, you should be able to get us out of a play-in game. We had a 20-point lead. Otherwise, our standards are too low. Once again, don't target specifically just Pascal. You could blame Fred. You could blame the whole damn team. We'll go look at who shot the free throws the worst, and we'll go blame them. As somebody put it already, Siakam got a lot of points in that game and was carrying us. So it's unfair to point him out and stuff like that. You could blame Fred for being a poor leader and not getting us there too. It's no point, and there's no reason for you to target Siakam in this. There really isn't. Carlos saying, I was watching some video on how Memphis and Phoenix suddenly got good with Darko influenced offense. That gets me excited. Yeah, this is part of it. Oklahoma City, Memphis, Phoenix, they've all seen the benefits of Darko's mind and his offensive ideas. And that's why we should be excited. This is definitely something that we should expect, and hopefully will be successful. We'll have to see. In some ways, when Darko talks about a roster, he's like a kid in a candy store. He starts thinking about this roster is so talented and amazing. I think I heard him say that the roster that Masai and Bobby built is so good, is what Darko said. So I think he's hitting the ground running really enthusiastically about the weapons that he kind of gets to mold and decide what the system and the plays are going to be with. It could be very fun to him to see how he could utilize Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby,
and the rest of them. And it's going to be fun, Carlo. I'm excited about it too. And I wish more Raptors fans would talk about this than the Siakam bullshit. Seriously. G saying, oh, hang on, it jumped. Holy crap. Yeah, I love seeing all the different names today. Okay, G saying the days of one player carrying a team are over. Dame couldn't make the playoffs. Luka and Kyrie couldn't make the playoffs. Depth and coaching matters now with this talented, quick new NBA. I think the G's hit the nail on the head. This is true. There's no more super teams. It's not going to be like get 3 guys and try and win with a super team like Phoenix is trying to do right now. It's more like you have the regular kind of positions: franchise player, secondary max player, your mid-level players, and then your role players. And it is about system, team scheme, and your coach. These all matter. And you can't just win because you got LeBron and you're just going to win because you have one really good player, Cleveland. Shit like that. No, it's not going to be like that anymore. It's a very much a complete package of a championship kind of team kind of factors is what will get you there. Denver Nuggets, perfect epitome example of this kind of team building to get to championships at this point. You want to get a championship, be more like the Nuggets, be less like the Brooklyn Nets 2 years ago. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Carlos saying at Top, Siakam was the best player in that playing game. It was the other players that failed the team. Yeah, and the free throws. The free throws were horrible. That was absolutely horrible. And DeAr DeRozan, oh my gosh. Thank you again, David. Raptors super fan Monique Lawrence is saying, my comments from yesterday were let Pascal be Pascal, chatter after chatter, good times approaching. Oh yeah, that's what you said yesterday. I remember that now. Yeah, just let Pascal be Pascal. Pascal's going to be Pascal in Austria right now. And hopefully he'll be in LA very soon. It seems like he is going to be from what y'all are saying. Top saying the best player in the playing game was Zach LaVine. He took over when it mattered and won them the game. Yeah, and Nick Nurse failed to adjust to stop him. So that's the coach's fault. Don't blame the players. Everything that happened in the playing is Nick's fault. Trust me. It is very much Nick's fault. G saying Gary scored 2 points. OG shot 30%. Not throwing players under the bus, but one player can only overcome so much. Nurse made 0 adjustments on LaVine. This is a team sport. Yeah. In the third quarter, when LaVine was rising up and taking over the game and coming back on us, Nick was sitting on the bench like this. He wasn't even standing. He wasn't even animated. He didn't make any effort to try and stop the Bulls' run from overcoming us and winning the game. He was very much sitting on his ass passively, watching it all happen and letting it happen. You go back and watch it, Top. You will see Nick Nurse sitting on his ass in the whole third quarter, not even getting up on his feet or doing anything, talking or anything. He just sat there quietly and watched it all happen. And he didn't adjust or react to it. He just said, okay, we're going to go out this way. I'm just going to sit and watch. I have a great seat to watch it happen. And then boom, there goes your coaching career with the Raptors out the window. Yeah, you go watch that third quarter when Zach's doing that stuff. Go see what Nick's doing in response to it. And that'll tell you all you need to know. G saying, oh yeah, we read that. Cool Cat saying Pascal has 2 siblings that live here with their kids. Pascal has established roots here. The only home he knows outside of Cameroon. OG lives in England and US, and Fred lives in the US. Yeah, see, that's part of it. We know that Cool Cat's told us that Pascal does have a house in Florida from after the Tampa year. But for the most part, home base is here. Mom lives with him in the house over at Bathurst in St. Clair. And he does, like she said, she has siblings that live here with their kids. So his family's all set up here. I mean, if he moves, he's got the money. He can move everybody to go somewhere else, but it's a pain in the ass once again. And once again, he's a foreign player from Cameroon. He went to the States to go play for New Mexico State, but that doesn't mean that he has any strong ties to being in the States. He really has more of a connection with Canada and being in Canada more than being in the States. He's not American. And the only time he was in America was when he played for college. And that's it. So in a lot of ways, the ties and roots that Fred has on that side of the border are very different than what Siakam has. And that is a very important point. Yeah, Carlos agreeing with G. Isaac saying W. David, yes. Cool Cat saying we lost the playing game because every time Pascal sat, we would lose the lead. Then we would fight for us to lead again. That's a lot of energy. Remember, Curry didn't make the playoffs too. There's a lot of things that happen. Every year is a fucked up, weird year for different teams. Go talk to Milwaukee Bucks and what happened to them in the playoffs this year and see like how people are talking about this. You think that they're all blaming Giannis for what happened? And what happened in that series? No, they're probably blaming Coach Bud. And that's what I'm saying. They're not blaming Giannis for the first round exit. They're blaming Coach Budenholzer. Tristan saying W Disc and Facebook also good. All right, good to see. All right, we'll have to figure this out, Tristan. Carlos saying Levine attacking Fred in the second half was a tactical adjustment. Nurse and Fred could not find a way to stop it. He could have put OG or Pascal on him, but he didn't. Yeah, Nurse had the opportunities and he waited too long. I was watching it. And it's like, dude, we're in the water watching us drown. And nobody's throwing us a life preserver. There's literally the Raptors team is in the water. Help me, help me. And Nick's on the dock. He's like, oh, look. He's like sitting on the chair, like, oh, you're drowning. Okay. You want me to get the life preserver and help you? Maybe I should. Maybe I'll wait a little bit. Oh, wait, it's the fourth quarter and they're winning now? Oh my gosh. Now he's all crazy and out of his seat. Where was that a quarter ago when it started? That's what I'm saying right there. They were drowning already and you didn't throw them a life preserver until like the next quarter. Yeah, that's part of it right there. It's part of it right there. He could have made the adjustments. He did not. They were right there. Everybody could see it. The learned Raptors basketball fans can see what he could have done, and he didn't. G saying the Bulls bench scored around triple what the Raps bench did too. I put this on mostly on Nick Nurse. Yeah, you didn't develop the bench all season, so why the fuck do you think they're going to do in the playoffs? They're not going to show up and do anything for you. Yeah, you need to get them in reps and get them up and going. And Nick was horrible. He's an anti-bench person. It's going to be weird to see how he treats Philadelphia. Because seriously, Joel will not be able to run those starter minutes that Nick has demanded of our starters here the last few years. Joel will not be able to play 35 plus minutes a game. What is he going to do? He's going to have to rely on some of those bench guys. And what if, you know what? Let's pay attention to this. What if the Sixers all of a sudden apparently don't have a bench this year? Like all the Sixers fans are complaining because we don't have a bench this year. What if mysteriously they don't get good bench production this year all of a sudden, and everybody realizes it's Nick Nurse's coaching style that absolutely snuffs out the bench and doesn't allow them to have any kind of good things going for them. It's because he starves them. So we'll have to see if he does that to Philly this year. This could very well be something that happens this year, that Philadelphia all of a sudden apparently doesn't have a bench while Nick's coaching them. That could be very weird. We could see that. Let's see. Stargate saying, is Ben Mathurin on the Canadian team? He's not presently on the team. There are some really good young players that are not on this team. Ben Mathurin, Andrew Nebhard, Shaden Sharp. These are all people that are not on Team Canada that could be in the future. It'll be very interesting. Let's see. Top saying, all this psycho babble has gotten us where? Fred's still left for nothing, and Pascal will leave too if he doesn't get a Supermax. Obviously, Masai doesn't want to get to that point, but y'all do. No, we don't. Don't tell us what we want. You know what we want? We want to be fans and just watch it all happen and let it happen the way it's supposed to. I am not in the ego that I think I can control this or worry about this too much. There's no reason to. It's unnecessary over psycho babbling or whatever, how you want to put it. It's not useful right now, stressing or worrying about the extensions. In some ways, I just want to kill this talk. It's not worth it. It's all hot air. In a lot of ways, it's all hot air and stupid. And your fears about Fred and Siakam, you're living in fear. Once again, top, you're coming from a place of fear. I don't live in fear. I don't live in fear like that. You want to live in fear about Siakam walking away for nothing? Okay, that's your choice. You can live in that lifestyle of fear mindset, but I don't live that way. I don't live that way. If Siakam's going to leave that way, so be it. If that road comes that place and there's something disappointing that happens like that, so be it. I'll treat it just like how I treated Fred. But, preemptively worrying about it and living in fear, that's your choice. You don't have to live that way. Live the way I am. If that shit happens when we get that road to cross, then we'll deal with it then. But I'm not going to fear it ahead of time. That's a wasted emotion. And you do yourself a disservice with that kind of mindset. Let's just put it that way. Carlos saying, how do you know what Masai really wants? Do you have a pipeline that you talk to him? Wait, I do. Let me see. I'm going to see what happens. We're going to find out right now. All right, let's see. Hello. Let's see. Hello, it's ringing. Yeah, you know who I'm calling. That's right. Still ringing. Oh, hey, Masai. Hey, yeah, it's Raptors Freak. Yeah, we're on the Raptors Freak Live right now. Yeah, you're live on here. Yeah, you know about us. Yes, I knew you knew about us. Awesome. Well, we're just wondering.
You're talking to Siakam, right, about his extension? Yeah. Cool. Okay. All right. All right. I'll let them know. All right. All right. Okay. Listen, I think that you and Bobby are doing a sensational job. I know there's a lot of noise out there that's stupid. And I just want to say, we know, the real ones know that you guys are a great front office and you're doing a fantastic job. The casual fans, they don't know what they're talking about, but we love you. We trust in you, Masai. Thank you so much. And thanks for taking my call. Oh, no problem. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. All the best to you, sir. All right. Bye. There you go. All right. All right. Wow. Wow. Yeah, he's talking to him. You're crazy. Of course he's talking to him. He won't tell me what they're doing exactly, but he is. Yeah, he's talking to him. So yeah, we know now. I got the pipeline to Masai right here. All right, next part. All right, let's see what else Carlos saying. All the speculation is just creating narratives in their head. That's right. You just got to call them like I did. Cowboys saying, "Hey, later, Lex." Bam. And Raptor Freaks, have a blessed day. Let's go Canada. That's right. I love to see that, Bradley. You have a great day. Let's go Canada. Let's beat Germany. Isaac Campbell's got the cutoff. It looks like no goat talk or something. No cowbell. No cowbell. More cowbell. Maybe. I don't know. Top saying no one can predict anything, but looking at what Masai has done historically, you know that he doesn't want Pascal holding the leverage, just like he didn't have Fred to have it, hence trying to move them. Once again, I'm not as cynical or fearful as you. Let's just put it that way. That's the difference. It's a mindset thing. Some of this is all perception from our own heads. And we got to realize that our own proclivities and our ways of our personalities influence how we look at this. So once again, I'm not in a fear mindset. If Pascal's going to screw us over and walk at some point, so be it. That's just how it will be. The path that we have of destiny in front of us, in some ways, is preordained. It's going to happen. So you can either be like, oh, I'm afraid of it, or you can be like, I'm going to walk ahead with no fear and be brave. And that's what I choose. I'm not going to be worried about Siakam and, oh, no, and all that stuff. That's what I really feel like this is. It's a fear mindset with too many people about letting Raptors walk for nothing. Oh, my gosh. Woohoo. We'll still have a team at the end of the day, and that's all that fucking matters. And that's the way I look at it. Yeah. Tristan saying, not saying Flynn starting, but yeah, I'd like to see him get some playing time, man, for sure. He should get his shot. You know, it may be that he gets his shot in preseason and training camp, and Darko sees good things and he starts using him in the regular season. It may be the opposite. It may be like, well, these guys are better than you, Malachi, and I'm sorry. I'm going to give them the opportunities first. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. And a lot of this is on the guys themselves. They got their chance. They got to go do it. They got to go do it. Stargate saying even Jalen can play a little big man point guard like Scotty would if it need be. This is something I didn't know. Jalen McDaniels can play a little point guard also. Wow. That is a very useful tool in some ways for a guy that height to be able to handle the ball a bit. I did not know that about his player profile. Good stuff, Stargate. Learning something here. G saying, actually, I think Raptors have the leverage because they are the only team that can pay Pascal a supermax if he makes all NBA. No other team qualifies to give him this. Fred was not qualified for that. That's another very important distinction between Fred and Pascal's situations. Is in some ways, this is part of the reason why Pascal's saying maybe he wants to be a Raptor for life because he realizes the most money laid out in front of him is here in Toronto still. And that is a very, very big difference between Siakam and Fred. Is that exactly right there? So there you go. Boom. And Carlos saying again, exactly. Boom. Gee, hitting out of the park. Factual, actual stuff here. Very, very good stuff. I love it. Good job. Okay, hang on. I jumped a little bit. I'm almost done, though, it looks like. Cool Cat saying Damian, Harden are on the market. Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi, Paul George, Giannis, and Embiid are up next year. Pascal had the stats for all NBA. The team record messed him up. Yeah. Yeah, he might have gotten all NBA if we had been better last year. And then a lot of this would have gone away and some of it already would have been figured out. Thank you, Monique, for the cutoff. And Cool Cat is laughing. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat. Thank you, Shaq Lindsay. Shaq Lindsay, I love that name. I hope you're doing really well, Shaq Lindsay. Bam, bam, bam. Thank you for the super chat also. Awesome to see a new name on here every morning, 9:30, talking Raptors. Tomorrow we're doing our Thursday Think Tank. In some ways, we've kind of been doing a think tank. I'm not totally sure what the think tank will be on tomorrow. We'll figure out a nice topic for all of us to kind of opine and talk about what we feel about and our perspective of things tomorrow. But I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be. And Fiercey, thank you for joining up on the purple level also. Wow, I got some new members today. That's fantastic. Top of Top's also saying, gee, that's where we differ because I don't think paying Pascal the Supermax is smart business. Jaylen Brown years younger than Pascal, and that's critical. Aren't they from the same draft year? Seriously, come on, man. You really don't believe in Siakam. You know what I said earlier, I mean it. He's not peaking, and he does deserve the Supermax. Once again, some of this money that these guys paid at this point in their career is accrued for time already. Like I was saying a couple years ago, I will pay Kyle Lowry extra money, even if he's older and not as good, even if some people think he's not worth it, just for honor, because he's been with our team and been in the growth and done things that have been amazing for our team. In some ways, teams need to be like that in some ways, where you honor vets that have been a part of your team and pay them, even if they're getting paid above their skills that they're at anymore. So in some ways, I don't worry about overpaying Siakam. I don't worry. I will never ever say that Siakam's not worth his super max. That's messed up, and that's not the right kind of thinking. Shaq Lindsay saying, "Why are people saying that they can't sign Pascal, OG, and Scotty?" I know, Shaq Lindsay. I know, Pink Hand. I know we can, and that's the thing that is the big myth. Is that in some ways it's the way that the world is right now economically. We have trouble just paying our rent and our bills and putting food on the table. So in their minds, they're like, how the fuck can we pay Siakam and Scotty 50 million a year and then OG 30 million a year on top of that? Well, this is not our money. This is not our world of money, and they can do it. And they've set up the CBA now to retain these guys like this, and it is very doable. So people saying that are wrong. And thank you, Shaq Lindsay, for your comment. It's like, I don't get this. Why fucking, say this? We can do it. They set up the new system so that teams can keep their cores together. They want us to keep these guys. So why the fans say we can't? I don't understand that. Monique saying, W stream, keep at it. Let's go. Let's go, Canada. Let's go, Raptors. 130. 130. Actually, let me do a real quick setup for you guys. Germany has 4 NBA players on their team, guys. Our guy Dennis, of course, for the Raptors, and then they got the Wagner brothers from Orlando. They're both on the team. Franz is actually the second banana to Dennis, so we will see Franz Wagner playing against Team Canada today, and his brother Mo comes off the bench as their backup power forward center. Daniel Tice is also on this team for Germany, and our good friend Isaac Bonga from the Raptors a couple years ago. So there's 5 players of note on the German team that's playing Team Canada at 1:30 today. We'll see if Dennis plays because of his Achilles. The Wagner brothers will be there, Isaac Bonga and Daniel Tice. Those are those guys. So yeah, it's very interesting. There's some players that are missing for Germany right now that normally would be playing for them. Obviously, Maxi Kleber, with the disagreement with Dennis Schroeder, is not there. There was some talk that Austin Reeves was actually going to play for Germany, but he's actually playing for the U.S. select or the U.S. team, of course. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So Germany's got 4 NBA players, and they've got some good talent, and they've done very well in international competition in the last couple of years. They did very well at Euro Cup last year, and they are a force in Europe. Not on the level of France and Spain, but Germany is not that far behind them. That's for sure. Let's see. All right, let's see. Tristan's saying, I always think about the Warriors having Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Yeah, the Warriors are able to do what they've been able to do. The Raptors are able to do what they're able to do. It all has to do with bird rights and luxury tax and different things like that. And we can make it happen. And we will. Watch. We will. Stargate thinks he just doesn't like Pascal. Could be. G saying body durability, mentality, and work ethic matter more. 3 years is not 10 years. Lonzo is a young and injured, so how does his age help him? Boom, goes the dynamite. Hello, G. Hello. Yeah, Stunted Growth has a brand new clip out on Lonzo Ball yesterday, and it's about how his career is probably over and how he screwed up the Chicago Bulls so bad in the last couple of years. So check out Stunted Growth, a fantastic YouTube channel about why players lose their careers and are not as good. Thank you, Tristan Phipps. Yeah, thumbs up. All right, let me finish up. Let me see if I can get done right before 2 hours comes around. I have talked about that. I have talked about that. I have talked about that. So basically, the recap is the Raptors are worth more than the Leafs. Sham's sister works for Atlanta Hawks social media, so that now we understand a little bit more why this shit is happening. The German team has 4 NBA players and Isaac Bonga, and that's pretty much it. Check your WNBA team, so set up your lineups and be ready for the action on that court for the WNBA Fantasy League for Raptors Freaks. Thanks to everybody for the super chats and the memberships. And, I want to see this channel grow in different ways. And it's not necessarily about this side of it, but if there's ways to enhance this channel's enjoyment for people, I will definitely want to do that. And if you guys have wanted to show some way to support the channel, I appreciate it. That's part of why I'm doing it too, because y'all told me a long time ago, just like, hey, can we figure out a way to give you a couple bucks for doing the stream every day? I appreciate that. But once again, none of it is mandatory. And everything about this channel, for the most part, will still be everything that's happening right now will always be this way as far as free. There may be some special stuff that's for members only down the road, but it won't be this meat and potatoes what the Raptor Freak live stream is every morning at 9:30. So don't worry about that. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's go Raptors. But let's go Team Canada. 1:30. If I find a link, I'll try and post it on the Facebook, and I'll try and maybe figure out a way to put it on here also. Thanks again, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 9:30. Let's go Raptors!